Well, hello there, and welcome to Amore with Allie. This once-a-week 30-minute show covers love and romance topics with a metaphysical twist. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Allie. Hello. I'm a certified sex coach and relationship intuitive who's the creator of out-of-body ecstasy, which is a personal energy method using dreams, astral travel, or telepathy to enhance your romantic life, no matter if you're in a relationship or if you're flying solo. Now, besides this show, I also do Amore with Allie on the radio. I do it on Friday nights from 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Woo 91 FM here in Worcester, Ohio. You can get Woo 91 on your dial if you're in my area, and if you're not, you can go to the College of Worcester's website. You just Google Woo 91, and you can listen to me live. Yay! I also do the Allie Thief Show on Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk Radio. And starting up again here soon will be the Passion Zone on Sunday nights from 6 to 6:30 p.m. on the Passion Zone, on Blog Talk Radio. So how are you? Not too shabby. It's cold here in Ohio, but the sun is shining, so I can't complain all that much. Now, last time I did a show, the affirmation I told you guys was I am full of prosperity, confidence, and pull new opportunities to me. So I hope you guys said that over the course of the week, because at the end of the show, I'll be bringing you up a brand new one. Now, the quote of the week, people ask me why I do this, why I do the quote of the week. I don't know. I always thought it was fun to find a quote about love or romance and just tell you guys about it. Love has been written about since the dawn of time when people could actually write. And not that I know proof positive, but I'm sure there are drawings on cave dwellings that show some sort of romance or marriage or love. There has to be. If you know of any, email me, please, at amore@angelssknowledge.com and let me know, because I'm curious if anyone knows of those. Okay, so the quote of the week this week is from Oliver Wendell Holmes, and he once said, "Where we love is home, home that our feet may leave, but not our hearts." I know. It's kind of nice and warm and mushy, isn't it? Oh, first viewer's question here is, we're talking about an E and an S, two different people. And if you want to send me your question before I forget to tell you, you can send me an email to amore@angelssknowledge.com. Or if you're at my website and you're looking around and you think, I think I'll send her a question, in the right-hand column of the website, there is a form you can fill out and send me a question, or you can go to Allie's shows, Amore with Allie, and send me a question that way. So there's lots of ways to send me a question for this show. And should I remind you, it's free? You get free advice. I've been doing this over 30 years, and it's free. I'm not very expensive, I don't think, as a relationship giver, an advice giver for relationships. But I'm not all that cheap either. So I think free is good. And if you send in your question for this show, it doesn't matter if you're chosen or not, you're put in a hopper to get a free reading with me. It's a 15-minute live reading. You and I chat about whatever the heck you want to chat about, whether it's the phone or IM or whatnot. So it's good stuff. So send in your question to amore@angelssknowledge.com. Now this question is about E and S. And E wants to know, what is happening between S and me? Well, if you're still together, I'll be surprised. And if you are still together, it's strange, because I can see a line, and not a full break, but you know how when a break occurs, you have the squiggle line? You know what I mean, the crack. Because that's what it looks like. Your love, your relationship is this straight line, and there's that crack, but it's not broken apart. So you could be holding it together by a very thin thread, or you have broken apart and you're piecing things back together again. I'm not quite sure of the picture. That's just the picture I get. Unfortunately, visions don't come with cliff notes or captions. I wish they did. It would make my life so much easier. But this relationship, if you are putting things back together again, or if you're trying to keep it together, it's a lot of work, and it seems more one-sided. And I say more one-sided because the crack is diagonal. If it was a 50-50 problem in the relationship, it would have been, what is that, horizontal. This is perpendicular. I'm trying to remember my geometry. My son, who is 12, is flipping brilliant in stats and geometry, and he threw a bunch of things at me this morning, and I don't know what the heck he was talking about. But it's a horizontal line if it's 50-50. And it's not that. It's diagonal. So one of you's putting in more effort than the other. If you're going to make this relationship work, you both have to put in the effort. You both have to respect one another. You both have to love one another. And you've got to communicate. There's a lot of assumption going on. With my point of view with this relationship is that it's not good for either one of you. And that you should really move forward with somebody else. It's just, there's just too much. I keep hearing there's just too much water. Water under the bridge. That's saying that people say. God, what is it with me today? Is today Monday? Did someone change the date on me and not tell me? Really, I've been sleeping just fine, and I'm in a good mood, so I can't figure out why my brain and my mouth are not working together as friends. Okay, so, anyways, there's my 2 cents. Thank you very much for sending in your question. And let's get on to the topic of the week. Now, we're going to talk about astral sex. This is part 2. If you want to know about part 1, which is where I talked about the stages of astral travel, which you have to do in order to get to astral sex. Astral travel, the separation, the stages of vibration, and all that. That's in the previous video. You can get the back videos for the show either at my YouTube channel, Amore Videos, or you can view it at agelessknowledge.com. Either or, you can see it. Okay, so astral sex. Astral sex really is a wondrous, wondrous experience. When you travel in the astral realm, your energy, you're an energy blob, which doesn't sound very attractive, I know. But as that energy blob, your thoughts form your figure. So if you think of yourself in, I don't know, if you want to be more pleasantly appealing to somebody physically, you can think about a more pleasant body than you have in the physical form, and your energy will shape to that more pleasant body. If you are female while you're awake and you would like to be a male during astral sex, you can be male. You don't necessarily have to have the male appendage. You don't have to have any of the female pieces parts if you don't want them. In astral sex, you don't have to have the physical parts that you have when you are human in the physical form. They're not needed. However, a lot of people like to have the different parts, and I'm trying to keep this very PG, G-rated, or I'd be saying all the terms I'd really like to say, because there are people who view these videos who are much younger than my normal audience. That's why I'm keeping it G, just to let you guys know. There are a lot of people who like to have the parts they would have when they're awake and human. It makes it feel more real. It makes it feel like it's actually happening as opposed to somebody imagining it. People like to be human, even when they're in the astral form. Not everybody, but some people. And to do so, they think about how they look in this life, in this form, or physical form, and then that physical form transforms to their astral form. Okay, so there are different ways you can do things. Now, with astral sex, when I talk about the OBE sex methods, astral sex is the most difficult one out of the 3. And between the dream, astral, and telepathy. Astral is the most difficult because first you have to learn how to astral travel, and that is difficult. Practice, you can do it, but it's still difficult at first. And then after you astral travel, and you get that down, and you're out and about, then you actually have to remember. That takes more practice. So astral travel and astral sex is not something that can happen overnight. Now astral sex is like dream sex. So it's kind of like you're having a wet dream during the astral time. But with astral sex you are awake as opposed to dream sex when you are asleep. That's really the big difference of the 2 things. But the nice thing about astral sex is what happens in the astral realm to your energy body comes back and happens to your physical body. So if you're up there in the astral realm having a major orgasmic explosion, because I don't know how else to word it, your body will duplicate that response. a lot of times when a person is having astral sex and on the astral realm, they are having a mind-blowing orgasmic response. Their body is also having one, and because the body is having one, the astral thinks of the physical body, and if you remember from last time, when you think of your physical body, you immediately go back to it. So because the physical body is having an orgasm, the astral body thinks of the physical body, and you go right back. So it's interesting because you have the astral orgasm when you're over here, and then it transforms to the physical. So you're still coming down from the high of this when you're getting going over here with the physical, and then you slam back into your body at the end of the physical. So it's kind of like you're getting a double whammy orgasm. And I don't know about you, but that sounds really good to me. So anyways, so that's why a lot of people like to do astral sex for those reasons. Now, there are different ways to have astral sex. Just like in the physical form, in the astral realm, you can have foreplay. And when you're just starting out astral traveling and you don't have it down pat yet, because again, it takes practice, astral foreplay is the best way to go because it doesn't take a long period of time. And foreplay in the astral realm, much just like foreplay in the physical sense, kissing, rubbing, caressing. Some people like to give quick kisses, some people like to give long French kisses. It's really quite up to you. Some people like oral sex. It's up to the individual person. If you don't want to have breasts and a vagina and a penis, I gotta say those things because I can't say pieces, parts. And I'm not going to do the erotica forms like her mountains of Venus, really. If you don't want to have the parts, but you still want to have some sort of foreplay, then you can, when you're up there with somebody, you can, it's like energy upon energy. You can simulate you're leaning in for a kiss, but what you're doing is one energy body is touching another energy body, and that sensation travels back to your physical body. And I hear my guy Joshua saying, but Allie, you haven't told anybody. How do you find someone for astral sex? I hop right to the end. That's not very nice of me. So how do you find somebody for astral sex? It might be good to know. Before you start the astral travel, you either want to put one or two things in your mind. Either A, you know who you want to meet on the astral realm, and that's who you're thinking about as you separate your astral body from your physical body. Or B, you think about the qualities you want in the energy that you want to have astral sex with. Now remember, again, the physical sense isn't necessarily going to pop up in the astral realm, although if the person chooses to give himself blue eyes and dark hair and be 6'4", I'd be happy. But, it's not a necessity. So instead of thinking necessarily what the person looks like, you might want to think about what kind of energy do you want from a person. Do you want them to be highly erotic? Do you want them to be funny? Do you want them to be serious? Do you want them to have a higher vibration? Somebody like, I don't know. Say my vibration, don't think of me. My vibration is higher than, say, somebody who's just starting out, looking at their metaphysical field, looking at anything astral, looking at psychic sense. So my vibrational rate is higher than theirs are because I've been doing it longer and practicing longer. Not saying they won't get to where I'm at with practice, they will. It's just I've been doing it longer, so my vibrational rate is higher. So if you think about somebody with a higher vibrational rate than you, then you can attract somebody with a higher vibrational rate. What you don't want to do is, say it's me, and I'm going in there, and I decide I'm sick with higher vibrational people, doggone, and I want somebody bad and dirty to the bone. I don't know. So I think of somebody who has a lower energy than me, which would be somebody in prison. That's really quite lower than me, but would be bad to the bone. So I think about somebody in prison, and that's who I end up having astral sex with. the thing with doing that is when you have astral sex with somebody, just like if you've read any of my articles about sharing intimate energy during physical sex, during astral sex, you take that energy back with you. So if I'm down with Mr. Down and Dirty, during the astral sex part, our energy is going to merge, because that's what you do with astral sex. It's very simple to have astral sex, but his energy will transform, will seep into my energy, and my energy will seep into his energy. So after the interaction, he takes away some higher vibrations and feels really good about himself, and I take away lower vibrations and I feel pretty crappy about myself. So that's something to keep in mind. I tend to, if I go for astral sex, I tend to search out for vibrationals. If I don't have someone specific in mind, which I normally do, but if I didn't, I would find for somebody who is the same vibrational rate as me, or maybe a tad bit higher. Because again, during the exchange, I would take their energy, they would take mine. So I would feel much better after the exchange, but they might feel a little depleted because their energy was a higher vibrational rate than mine to begin with. Whew. I need a drink. Unfortunately, this coffee is just, well, it's just coffee. It's 10 a.m. here, so it's afternoon, well, in Great Britain. So maybe I'll think about that next time. Anyways, so I tend to do tangents when I talk about OBE stuff and I get off track. Told you how to get there. Told you how to find somebody. Vibrational rates. Okay, so what are the different things you can do for foreplay? Well, I mentioned things you can do in the physical realm. Kiss, nibble on someone's neck, kiss a person. If you simulate you have a tongue in the astral realm, play with their ear, if they have an ear, again. Usually though, if you're in the physical sense or looking like a physical human, they will too. Just for the heck of things. You can, grab a person's butt. Interesting enough. I mean, there really isn't anything you can't do. You can, with your energy body, form an arm and, go inside of their body, inside of their energy, because it's energy on energy. So you can mash into one. I don't know how else to put it. There must be a more eloquent way, I'm sure, but since my brain and mouth will not work together today, let's pretend it's in my head and my mouth is on strike. I don't know. But for astral foreplay, when you're starting out and you're starting astral travel to begin with, you shouldn't attempt to do it very long, just so that you can remember what you're doing when you come back. The longer you're gone, the more it takes for you to remember what you did. So I recommend always setting your alarm for 5 or 10 minutes when you astral travel to start with, and start having astral foreplay. That way you go up, you're doing your thing, the alarm goes off, your physical body is waking up, you zoom back, because when the physical body is startled, your astral body thinks your physical body, you go right back, and then it's like, oh crap, and then you write stuff down. After you cuss yourself out for, probably leaving during something very, very fun. But it's important that you start off slow. You don't want to just jump into it and be all willy-nilly about it. Because usually if you jump into it without a little bit of practice, and I'm not saying this is going to take 5 years of your life to be able to astral travel and have astral sex and do it correctly, but it will take some time. Okay, so you're not going to be a pro to start with. Now, when it comes to astral sex, and when you separate from your body and you want to go to a specific person, we'll just say a specific person. You want to go to a specific person, you separate from your body, and if you remember the last time I did this, I said when you separate, you should say clarity now, because it makes everything, well, clear. Because when you roll out of your body or come out of your body at some point in time, things are kind of fuzzy. It was kind of like looking through the veil. And you see clarity now, and it clears up, and you can go on. But after you see clarity now, think about the person whom it is you want to have astral sex with, if you know exactly who that person is. We'll throw out, I don't know who it would be for me. Will always works. So I want to roll out of my physical body, say clarity now, things will get clear. I would mentally think of Will, and then wherever Will is on the astral plane, I'll find him. So it doesn't matter if he's, 4 dimensions over and up 3. I'll go over 4 and up 3. And it happens like that. The great thing about astral travel is there's no waiting. You think and you go. Because energy is energy and it just transports you. So when say I think of Will and there he is. And I notice him because either A, he looks like Will, and I say, oh hey, there's Will. Or B, and probably more correctly, is that since we all have our own energy signature, which I talked about in the first one, I'm going to recognize his energy immediately no matter what he looks like. If it doesn't look like anything, I'm going to know it's Will. Because he has specific energy signature to him, and he'll know it's me. You can have astral sex a couple different ways. Well, actually, there's as many different ways as there are souls. You can, the man can form a penis, the woman can form a vagina. You can do sex the old traditional human way. You can stand in front of each other, energy body-wise, or float if you don't give yourself legs, and line up all the chakras, because even in the energy body, you still have all your chakras. Line up the chakras to one another, and you don't have to touch, but if you line them up and you concentrate on the other person, you have the energy exchange. And the more you stand there, and I know it sounds boring, but if you're into it and you're into exchanging energy with the other person, it's anything but boring, especially because the energy starts from the root chakra and works its way up. It's an exhilarating experience. I don't know how else to put it. But you guys concentrate on one another, and you concentrate on the chakras, starting with the root chakra, and work your way up. And with each concentration of each chakra, the chakras kind of lock together. There's like a bridge of energy that locks them. And you go all the way up to the crown, and you're in one big locked energy connection. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. There are definitely orgasms to be had. Not always. A lot of times it's just a feeling of overwhelming love, exhilaration, happiness, health, good vibrations, and there's it just, I don't know how to put it. You have to experience it in order for you to understand. It's like stepping into the rainbow. It's like stepping into the rainbow of life. I don't know how else to put it, but it's an exhilarating experience. That's another way. The easiest way and the quickest, yet the most explosive, and you'll be done with your astral sex experience like that, is actually stepping into one another. With the energy body, there's no physical body, so you literally move into one. You merge into one being. And as soon as you do that, well, obviously all the energy is lined up, isn't it? You're intertwined everywhere. And it's immediate. The orgasm is immediate. The energy is immediate. Everything is immediate. So basically, as soon as you step into one another, lack of a better way to put it, there's fireworks everywhere, many explosions, and you are back into your body before you can say, what the hell is that? Actually, it's what? And you're back in your body. You can't even get up to rest out. And so then you're laying there and you just finished having an orgasm. You're like, what the? Yeah, it's exactly what happens. It's very quick. It's to the point. As if you don't have a lot of time. The 5-10 minutes with the foreplay. If you've done the foreplay and you're like, I really would like to try some more, you find somebody with the same energy vibration as you. You can step into one another. You're done. There's just nothing else about it. You're done. You go back. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about, because I've been talking a lot longer than I should have. What a surprise. And there's so much I've left out because there just isn't enough time. Okay. Nope. I basically wrote everything down that I said. Now, when you come back from the astral sex experience, it's important, if you want to remember everything, to write it all down. You may think, there's no way in the world I'm going to forget all that because it was such an explosive experience. But trust me, the way the brain works, As soon as you engage in something else, anything, other than writing it down, what you thought of here, your memories, gets pushed back a notch. Then you go and do something else, and then it's pushed back another notch. It's making room. There's only so much that can be stored there in your short-term memory. It heads back to the long-term memory. And more stuff gets piled in, it gets shoved down and shoved down and shoved down until something happens that triggers that memory. You know, let's say you had astral sex and you saw a yellow tulip in the middle of all of it. And you didn't write stuff down because you know you were for sure you're going to remember it all. And time went, you try to remember bits and pieces, and you're like, I don't remember a damn thing. And time goes on, and you're out someplace, and you see a yellow tulip. That yellow tulip triggers that memory in long-term storage. It comes up, and you're like, oh my God, I'll write that down when I get home. Guess what happens by the time you get home? You got it. You forget about it already. So, do yourself a favor and write it down. I may bring up astral sex again at some point in time, because again, there is a lot of steps I didn't talk about. There's a lot of different ways to have astral sex I didn't talk about. This is only a half-an-hour show. I could literally talk about this every week and still say something new. So there you go. Now, on to the viewer's question. If you want to send me a question, send it to amore@agelessknowledge.com. And this question is from Jay, and they said, I've decided I'm really not completely frustrated with the entire male species after all. Apparently, I was just getting out of the phase, and have consequently been open again to meeting someone. I've met a couple of men, but nothing seems to be going anywhere. Either there's no chemistry, in capital letters mind you, or there is chemistry, but something happens, like a scheduling conflict. So it doesn't even get to the first date status. Any idea what's going on and when I'll meet someone that will stick around for a bit? I mean, come on, I'm dying for a little action here. Thanks again, Allie, from Jay. Well, you know, when there's scheduling conflicts or you're not meeting anybody that resonates, there's no chemistry, it just means they're not for you. Definitely the one with no chemistry, they're not for you. And the people with scheduling conflict, again, remember, even though there is chemistry, but you can't get together, there is exchange of energy when you're intimate with somebody, and the universe is basically saying, you know what, you don't need to mix your energies together. You're not supposed to. So be confident, because I know you're going to have somebody, and I know you're going to have little action. You're not a nun. You don't pretend to be one, nor are you supposed to live like one. So there will be people. Just keep yourself open. Open to the possibilities of meeting the guy that's good for you. Not good for right now, but good for you long term. Okay, you've done the it's right now type of guy. You've had it many times, and the universe is saying, you know what? It's time for you to move on to the next level and to find somebody who is good for you, who is grounded, and who will take care of you for the rest of the time he's on this planet. So that's what you're holding out for. That's what the universe has in mind for you. Again, keep open. 2013 is going to be a banner year for you. Don't forget that. Okay? Thank you very much for sending in your question. Now where am I at? The magical item of the week. You know, interesting enough, I decided to talk about orange. Now, I love the color orange. I do. Always have since I was little. And couldn't figure out until much later, when I was studying sex and OBE sex, why I love the color orange so much. Well, there's many things that orange represents, but two main things is sexual energy and creativity, both of which I'm very happy with. So orange deals with sexual energy, creativity, and it also has an encouragement, adaptability, stimulation, and attraction. So the color orange is great, say in a candle, color candle, if you want to attract something to you, or if you're trying to be creative, or if you're trying to open up your sacral chakra, or trying to generate more sexual energy. Orange is fantastic for those things. Again, you can use it as a candle. You can work on the sacral chakra, which is 2 inches below the belly button. That's where the color orange resonates. So if you want to get your sacral or sexual energy and your creativity going, you know, that's the chakra you're going to want to work with. The essential oils for orange, orange essential oil and what's called neroli. Did I say it right? Those are two fantastic oils to stimulate the orange energy. You can put it on a candle, dress a candle. You can put it on your chakras. You can put it in a essential oil diffuser. I know some people who put a little bit on a cotton ball of the oil and then put it in a plastic bag and put it in their purse or their backpack or their briefcase and take it with them. And anytime they need that scent, they just simply open up a little baggie, take a whiff. Of course, usually when probably no one's around. Close the baggie and they're good to go. Stones, different orange stones are the orange calcite and how do you say it, carnelian. I think I said that correctly. Those are two fantastic orange stones for sex and creativity and attraction and stimulation and encouragement. I like orange. You should like orange too. If you find you want to add more of these things into your life, if you want to encourage someone or attract someone, adapt to some sort of situation, and you don't want to use stones or oils or herbs like orange blossoms, you can always eat more orange. So, I don't know what is orange as in food besides, well, oranges. Cheddar cheese, I believe this has a bit of an orange tint. Carrots. Carrots are good for you. Carrots. I know there's something. Some sort of Mexican food I'm sure has some orange in it. And I love Mexican food, so. I don't believe Italian has any orange. It's more red. Or white. Thinking. Can't think of anything else. But eat more orange stuff if you want to go that route. But orange again. Encouragement, adaptability, stimulation, attraction, sexual energy, and creativity. Good stuff. Don't forget that Friday night is Amore with Allie on Woo 91 FM in Worcester, Ohio. You can Google that and listen online from 10 to 11 p.m. The Amore with Allie that's on the radio show is different than this Amore with Allie, although they both deal with love and romance topics. This one has a romance topics and with the metaphysical twist. The radio show does not. The radio show is more straight and narrow because of where I live and the place where I'm doing it. They prefer it that way. I still give really good advice, and it's still a pretty good show, but it's not metaphysical topics like this show is. So if you want straightforward advice on love and romance, please tune in to Amore with Allie on Woo 91 Friday nights. I'd love for more than my mom to listen. It'd be fantastic. So please do. Now, the affirmation for this week is, I am overflowing with deep, abiding love. Again, I'll say it. I am overflowing with deep, abiding love. Who doesn't want to overflow with love? Who doesn't want to overflow with deep love? It's a wondrous thing. I am overflowing with deep, abiding love. Not with a deep, abiding love, but deep, abiding love, period. Say that several times during the day between now and the next show, and you'll be A-okay. I know some people don't really believe in affirmations, and I personally was not a big believer in them until I started doing them, and they work, they work, they work. Now, again, if you want to see past episodes of the show, you can go to my YouTube channel, Amore Videos, or you can go to agelessknowledge.com. Both places have all the videos, including part 1 of this astral sex talk. Okay, so, I say so too much. You know, I've been talking to myself lately, and I've been answering myself, which is kind of frightening. But I've been talking to myself lately about the shows I do. I do 4 shows. I should know how to talk during a show by now. But for some reason, my brain and my mouth still will not work together in tandem. So I say far too much. I say so far too much. And hate that word, yet I still use it. And I blink too often. I don't know why I blink so much. I don't know why. But I watch myself in the video and I'm like, God, how many times do I blink in a minute? And then I feel like if I'm holding my eyes open, you know, with the stare, it hurts. I can't do that either. I'm screwed. So, but I thank you for listening. And listening to me ramble. But I thank you for stopping by and watching Amore with Allie. I'm hoping next time the brain and the mouth will coordinate. I highly doubt it, but there always is that possibility. So until next time, keep laughing, keep living, and of course, always keep loving. You take care of yourself. Bye.